In medieval times, people often said, don't let your candle burn at both ends or you'll have no light left. Well, at least for this one here, we know that candles were certainly not the cause of these flames here. By the way, there's also this saying, a kiss without a beard is like an egg without salt. But that is something completely different. My wife would definitely disagree on this one here. Now, for something like this to not happen to me, we should head back to my village right away and continue with the city building. And by the way, hello everyone and welcome back. I hope you got a cup of coffee or tea or even a sausage ready at the taking, for we continue onwards with mighty things. Mighty things like, yeah, like our army that is forming. Look at that, we got a full archer militia almost ready for action. That's a 33 out of 36, and on top of that we also have 20 spear militia now growing. Now, in order to grow this one further, well, we are already producing the bows. I would like to continue producing other things. Things that we certainly will need for my population and my soldiers alike, and that is footwear, of course, and to be more specific, shoes, leather shoes in any case. And for that we need a leather. Now we got a full herd of goats over there, which is my only source of leather. How much leather have we accumulated? 32 hides. That's actually really bad, let's be honest here. So one thing I would like to go ahead with is increase my gold production and also, or population you might say, and also start with my first leather industry, which is of course our tannery. And this one here processes hides into leather. It's exactly what we need. And by the way, it's extremely smelly, so don't have it too close to your citizens or else they're gonna, well, dally or something like that. All right, let's have enough with the rhymes. Let's have enough with the proverbs. We continue with building this one. Not close to the berries because the berries might smell then. But yeah, probably a bit further up here. Quite isolated from the town itself, but it's a really smelly building. By the way, could I then have... Yeah, perfect. I can have another production building here. And we will also need a malt house down the road. Yeah, I can think of something like here for the malt house. It's also a bit smelly, but certainly not as bad as a tannery. Smelly it might be, but an artist's workshop is where chaos goes to become beauty. Hopefully it's going to be beautiful leather, that is. I am on a roll today, so let's continue with the words. Zoom all the way out onto the global map, that is, and start with a bit of diplomacy. Funnily enough, so the outlaws are also part of it, right? So we got my opponents here. So that is Kungund. She is over here, Mandlach. And then we got the poor sod Ditz. Like, Ditz has just a very bad stroke of luck over here. And then we also have Peter. He's really far away from us. And the outlaws. Let's have a look at them. Because now we can actually add paragraphs to a letter that we can send them. And it's a pleasure to meet you. Yay! Hello there. Let's send it and just see what happens. Also, by the way, Ditz. Can we do something with poor Ditz? Oh no. Rhetoric is out of action today. I've spent all my wise words on the outlaws. By the way, we got the first hops in already, and with that we could produce some malt, and that means I should have my tavern now growing too. A tavern, it just absolutely needs to be at the town center, somewhere over here. We could make it either like so or either like so. Now this is once again something that's just, I will be wrong about the location of this, right? This or this. I actually prefer this one here because then we open up a bit of a place area here, right? Where we can add the numerous ornaments this game provides. Like, for example, a shrine that we can still have here, right, in the town center. Why not? Let's also go ahead and do this right away. Erase shrubbery is still something that you can do. Next, this gives me some room to, yeah, expand again. I would definitely like to have, because this just needs to be dense, right? I want to have another house here. Really just something very tiny. Let's just see if we can actually get this one in. Something like this. Or something like this. You know what? I actually like this one. That's 2 houses that we can squeeze in here just beside the tavern. And behind that, we can then continue with some normal housing again. Gonna adjust this one kind of like to the main road. Look at that. We could even reduce density a bit to get bigger backyards going. Nah, I think I might actually just do it like that, but only up to this point here. Let's turn this around again. That's 3 of them. Lovely. And then we still have some space here. And you know what? I would also like to go ahead and have some... Don't forget, this is really the village, the town center, so this really just needs to be dense. Right, there's another density house here, and then we got some backyard houses there again. That's totally fine. We'll just see what we do then with that spot here. That's something for later. Right now, let's fill this one. Might also need another well then down the road. That is something that we could afford. Yeah, this would have been a location that you can do. Another one here. And certainly one here by the industry zone. Let's also get this going. By the way, I didn't even realize the forager hut has an upgrade available. That's the herb garden. Allows the forage workers to grow herbs in a garden at the house itself. And these herbs we can use then to reduce sickness. 25 coin though that costs. Health or leather? Health or leather? Let's go with leather. I need more goats. Gonna go ahead and add me another goat shed over there. There is also something that you should do, and that is upgrading a well. Increases capacity of well, supplying up to 50 burgage pots with drinking water. And that is something we need. As a matter of fact, some of those burgages that we have do not have access to water. Simply because, yeah, we have just not enough wells. 10 stone it is. We should have plenty of that. We got 86 rubble stone available right now. Well, let's go ahead and upgrade our well there as well. And... I'm still thinking about this plot here. I think this would also look great with a well. We could also have another one here. There is, in fact, no water on that side. At all. Okay, on the far side here. This could be tricky down the road. We'll just see. Let's add another well here. Because we need the water. Very lovely. The tavern has been finished, and with that, we now have the potential to serve something. And look at that! There is an upgrade to a large tavern, and this is new. And we'll just see what that actually does. For now, though, we have the supply of 0% that we need to give to my population. Well, we need to raise this, and the only way to raise this is, well, not even having a tavern keeper. Even, of course, I can already start with that. And they're gonna, well, be very busy, not for now, at least. What I will definitely need to do, though, is 2 more buildings, and that is the malt house that I've already started to think about, and it's somewhere over here. Let's actually have it, yeah, here in the town center. It's actually really hard to decide on the malt house. There you go. Important is it needs to be rather close, because we also need to have then the production of beer close by, and that is actually an artisan expansion that we need to give to one of my houses, and there it is, the brewery. For this, however, we need to have a tier 2 burgage plot, and we need to have one with a shed. There it is, right? This one here is just ideal for that. Right here in the town center, you can have a brewery that is producing then the ale from the malt. Let's have the upgrade going. So it's coming from the fields to the malt house, to the brewery, and then to the tavern. Still also waiting now for my tannery, since there's a lot of constructions with logs going on right now. It'll take some time. We can enjoy the entry into the forest though. Gosh, this game has beautiful forests, gotta say that. And right now, in July, they're in full glory. Speaking about forests and tree hugging and all the beautiful things you can do, is the forester hut has been finished, and we do have the families available for it. So let's assign someone, and we give them now an area where they can start replanting trees, and it's gonna be here. The cool thing is that, you know what, let's actually start with here. And you'll just see why, because this village is just not looking very beautiful right now when it comes to trees. You want to have some trees. What I think about though is that we're not going to go ahead with a big work radius, but rather a very small one, a dedicated one by the well here, for example, right? So they will just plant trees now in this area. And there's the forester coming. He's looking for the right spot. Looks a bit confused, honestly. What are you doing? He's looking for the right spot, it literally says. Alright, his son and wife are faster than him. They just start digging. Now he's also doing it to get the first trees into the village. And oh boy, this is not a good message at all. A deposit exhausted. That's the mining pit. And unfortunately, we lost the only source of iron that we had so far. It's this one here. Let's unassign them. There's nothing to do anymore. It's the old mining pit from now on, as people will call it. And probably haunted as well after next autumn. And in this case, we now have no more iron coming in. How much iron do we have still? 14. And no iron slabs, no iron parts are possible. This is something where I think the update actually breaks the economic logic a bit, because you need to have a constant supply of iron coming in for the tool consumption and the iron parts consumption. And in this case here, you just need to have more deposits, because right now these deposits have not been adjusted to the new maintenance system. And that, of course, will inevitably lead to the problem that we're running out of tools if we don't start trading soon. So I'm trying to counter this with trading for now. We'll just see how it works down the road. Hooray! We got the first saplings. You can barely see them, but these are gonna be some mighty trees. And by the way, they're planting a few too many trees there right now. So let's immediately assign them to a different location. And that would be... where should we also have some trees? I think here. Right, let's also plant some of them. Next, we got the vegetable farming over here. That is now starting to work. So that's the bigger homesteads that we have. And the orchard over here as well, growing some apple trees for us. That brings me to the next thing right away. So you can already see that this is actually quite busy. And that is my trading post again. So we need to have a steady supply of iron coming in. Let's find iron. Because iron is actually really expensive. It costs 11 coin per iron to import. We're gonna start with that immediately. What is full trade? Trade until the desired surplus is reached. Buy until the desired surplus is reached. And sell until the desired surplus is reached. Okay, so the full trade is going both ways. That wouldn't be necessary for the iron ore. For the iron ore, we're just gonna say import until we have 50. It's a lot of money though. It's the +1 coin that the iron ore costs and +10 coin on foreign tariffs. I wonder where we can influence tariffs. Yeah, I know where. The Regensburg Guildsmen. This is the origins we explored in the beginning of the game. And now it's finally time to actually go for them. And these guys here reduce the import value reduction. Or yeah, they reduce the price of iron ore by 30%. Also reduces the burgish upgrade costs, increases the regional wealth from burgage plots themselves. This is also very powerful. These two combined will lead hopefully to a healthy supply of iron ore coming in. The problem here is that every one of these origins has a huge penalty. This one here has the land tax approval malus, so we get +20% severity rating for land taxes, which is directly reducing then my personal wealth that I need for the army. But rather this than running out of tools. That's my going here. So I'm gonna unlock me my first origin now. And we are the Regensburg Guildsmen. Regensburg, by the way, is a beautiful city in Germany. And it's very close to my hometown. And I've been there 3 times. And it's never really that boring, despite being a very small town. Beautiful craftsman market they have. Now, in this case, the iron ore still needs a dedicated trade route, and we're also going to establish this one right away with the 20 coin we have. All right, that has now this thing here solved. The problem will be that we're still not producing enough regional wealth, and I also need it for goats and chickens and so forth. So we need to find a new source of income beside my bows, right? So we are having the war bows over there. We have 28 right now, so about 8 will be sold again. The other weapons all need things that we also don't have in supplies. So everything here needs iron. Gambesons need leather. That's something we really don't have. Crossbow needs ladders. Shields might be an opportunity for us. For the shields, we need a new artisan level 2. Let's check the overlay. There we have it. Level 2 with still a burgage or a backyard extension possible. And these guys here have the joiner's workshop that produces wooden parts and shields. And those shields should be possible for us to sell nicely. We'll just see about that. We need to find markets that we can use. Also, over here, I think... Do we have all the goats now? It seems like we have all the goats. Goats. Fantastic. There is still one goat possible. Or, since it's a pretty big yard, I might also make this one into a vegetable garden. By the way, that well has been upgraded and it's looking rad, honestly. Beautiful. Much better than the one before. And now you get a proper chain going down there. Proper lift. Okay, we just got the first iron ore coming in, and that's 24 iron that we have now, but with that we're also out of coin. So 50 might have been a bit too much perhaps, but at least it's possible, of course, to get some iron in with this method. Let's say up to 30, right? Because I really don't want to deplete my wealth there so hard. Okay, also the malt house, there it is. Let's assign a family. We have 2 more left. They also will require refueling, so once again another consumption for firewood. And then we also have our tannery that can now start its leather production. These people here will now get the hides, right, and produce then the leather. I'm not gonna set any limits here because we don't need hides for anything else as far as I know right now, and we don't need to have an upper limit for leather because it's not gonna be that much. And yeah, 38 hides we have. This actually sped up over time and is quite fast at this point. I will definitely also need another family here because it's getting a bit busy at the storehouse. So let's assign a 3rd family to the storehouse. And yes, the shields are coming in. I've seen it because we're producing them now. And we're producing small shields. These consume only planks at the moment. Plenty of planks we have. Wooden parts and the large shields require then 2 planks. I think I'm going to go with the large shields, in fact. And we're going to set a limit here of 50, right? And that's it. And the planks do not go lower than 50 on the planks as well. This is very valuable. So we'll just see how that turns out, right? Because shields might be quite worth it to trade. And since we got the large shields now rolling in, let's also export them. We cannot see the price, unfortunately, until we have dedicated a trade route to it. But for now, let's just say that we want to have a surplus of 20. And everything above that can be sold to whatever price they pay me. Leather is being produced. We got the first leather.
Oh, this is heavier than it looks.
Yeah, heavier than it looks, he says. I believe him. Smellier as well. Even though fresh leather actually smells beautiful. And there's the trader coming, or, you know, my storehouse worker. So we now have dedicated our workforce to tasks, right? Like he's just transporting stuff around now and brings it to the market then, where people can buy it. And off he goes again. Since we have now so many things consuming fuel, it might be worth it to upgrade my fuel. And we can do this with the charcoal kiln. And the workers refine firewood here into charcoal, increasing the fuel efficiency. Super dirty building that is. Once again, I'm gonna have it outside here for the moment. We might also have it deep in the forest over there. I think this also makes sense, right? Let's go ahead and have the charcoal burner somewhere here in the forest. Over there. And they will then start producing it once we assign someone to it. And once we get the logs over, we don't have a lot of logs left. Lots of stuff being up for sale, by the way, at the food stall. We got a great food variety at the moment. Chevon, apples, bread, berries and fish. Got the full picture here. Don't mind the thunderstorm, the food is fresh. And over here, got the firewood, and this should be the stall market for the leather then. Resources stolen from nearby bandits, 5 iron ore. They will pay for this. By the way, 9 ale in the tavern. Entertainment supply is 100% with that. And we can see that the level 2 houses now have their tavern. That makes them very happy and also fulfills the beverage need. Since we're gonna need some money from the regional wealth at some point, I'm actually gonna go ahead now and say 10% land tax. That means 10% of my regional wealth is being taxed, I think every month it is? It should have been every month. Yeah, every month. And in this case, will be then transported over to my treasury. And we can use that money over there to, for example, then also house me dedicated soldiers. A standing army, that is. In that case, we probably should also start raiding the bandits. Over there we have them. So let's also, I mean, it's October. Probably not the best idea. Got a bit of a harvest season rolling right now to have any kind of attack. By the way, how was my harvest season? Let's have a look. 113 rye sheaves we have. We're set up, honestly. This is a lot. It's already being processed then? No, it's not. We still have the barley, also 23. So that wasn't so bad, actually. And once they're finished with the plowing, they should go here and thresh my wheat, my grain. And this we bring then over to the windmill. Charcoal burner is finished. I've actually moved it over here now, close to the tannery. Let's have the two smelly things close together. And move in 2 families here right away. Always keep a family available for construction. Right, but those 2 can work here now. They're gonna transport now and take the firewood that we have and turn it into coal. And then we have the fuel then up there. Coal should be more durable than firewood so far. For this, it might be a safe approach to also have a second firewood collector here. Or here. Or just beside the other one. Yeah, let's have it just beside the other one because it doesn't matter. Let's have it here, the second one, that we can then use to collect even more firewood. So it's absolutely important that we plant as many trees as possible. And we can also see they're busy with that. And yes, this area is growing again with trees. Cycle of life continues. And as another year is coming to an end, not only have we grown in number, but we also grow now our treasury. The first 11 coin are in. That's beautiful. It's not much at the moment, but it's gonna be much soon. Also, we get 100 regional wealth available right now. We could use this, yeah, absolutely, for chickens. First, we need to check where there are people living. There are no people living here, so it doesn't make sense. There is someone living in, so this one makes sense. And I might turn this one into a goat shed as well. Oh, we got 46 leather. That's a lot. It's actually really nice. Alright, let's actually start with an apiary. 50 coin, we can afford this. And with that, we start with the bee process. I didn't expect it to have it so soon, but I'm excited about it. Why not? Okay, spend a bit more coin again, I think on iron ore, right? Where's my iron ore? There it is, 29 again. Yep, we're at the limit. Very good. So the tool supply is still rocking. So for a city of that size, or a village of that size, trading works for the tools at the moment. Okay, and there we have now the apiary. And the apiary is actually more complex than it seems at first, because it gives me new bonuses. 2 new bonuses, in fact. The first one is the wilding. The meadow's wild bloom fattens the hive. There's a chance of extra apiary yield proportional to the meadow environment. Currently we have 55%. So my take is that we should build this one in an area with not that many trees, but meadows around that. Alright, so this one here, the burgage plot, would probably have a better chance for it, right? Because it's further outside. Alright, the second one is the apiation. Increases pollination strength by 2% for each active apiary up to 10%. So right now we have 2% coming in for the pollination. And this we can then also once again check then at the environmental levels or environmental statistics for Sleepy Hollow. And here we now have our meadows, 55%. right? And down here we have then also our farmland. And the meadows are increasing now the level of pollination, which increases the chance of extra crop yields proportional to the meadow environment. This is really interesting. So with more bees, up to 10%, we can actually boost the farming, to my understanding, which is really cool. So this wasn't there before, and that is something that we should hopefully feel at some point at my farmhouse done with richer harvests. We can also see this here. Yep, the field has the pollination bonus. Current effect, 57% improved, or yeah, chance of extra crop yields coming from this. Now, I like the system a lot. So what I'm going to try is, I mean, once again, winter. But I'm going to try and build me yet another road going all the way here, right? And we're going to have another house then somewhere here with an apiary. Unfortunately, there is really no apiary available anymore. But I want to see this. So this is just going to be one house by the forest here, having a beehive. Once again, the game tells me that my people are freezing. I don't know why, but there's no one freezing right now. We have plenty of fuel. In fact, we got 50 charcoal available right now, and it's also stored at my storehouse. Do I need more store people? There's 2 coal right now at the market. Perhaps I need to assign even more to the storehouse. Let's do this. This opens up another market stall now coming up here. Another common goods stall. Perhaps. There's no one freezing right now according to this overlay though. So should be fine. Also the houses far outside have fuel. Coal and firewood. That's also fine. There's the new one now. And these guys here are gonna have an apiary then as well. A massive one here in the backyard. I would definitely take up this slot here, by the way. Beautiful view. Forests. And a bit further away from the inner city. Also, that's a surprise to me. We do not have any fish anymore. Actually, we ran out of fish. So first of all, they're not fishing anymore in winter. There used to be the upgrade for ice fishing, but it seems to be not there anymore. A minimum of 80 fish per pond we keep. Oh, okay, we are below the minimum actually, so they're not fishing anymore because of that. And also, I think, yeah, we're exporting carp, but we actually have a surplus of 120, so this should also be fine. Might also be worth it to quickly have a look at my import and export statistics, and we can see that we made a lot of money out of war bows. 566 coin, whereas we paid 230 for iron ore. We also made some coin out of planks and out of fish a bit. Another thing, the communal oven is sending emergency help or emergency request. It's full. We have too much bread in the oven and it's not working anymore. So we need to have more storage for that. And that is why I also want to upgrade now my granary to a large granary. We can also assign more people to this. And with that, hopefully also can store more bread. Alright, enemy units have been spotted. Get the next raider attacks here. They might be attacking my opponent now in this area, but they're also very close to us. So I gotta be super careful where they're moving, or else I might have trouble. Okay, another ruler's army was sighted. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, they're probably under attack. We're still getting this cold message. Oh, look at that. It was this house here. But they have fuel now. Okay. No, they're cold again. It's this house here that is cold. Yeah. I don't know why, because they have fuel actually. Strange. They might have a leak Someone should tell them. And yeah, unfortunately, another village is burning to the ground. And it's my direct neighbor. Even though, look at that. They're fighting back once again, but only with the retinue. They don't... It doesn't seem like they have a proper militia at this point. Alright, so of course they're getting crushed as well. I don't even need to watch this fully. It's a slaughter. And yeah, now it's on to the pillaging and lamentation of women, men, and houses that burn down now. Nothing we can do about this. No one's coming for us right now. And the strange thing is that some of my people, if they just walk along the cliffs as they usually do to enjoy a good breeze, they can see now that village down there burning down. No idea, perhaps they're coming after us, I don't know. When they're finished with the pillaging, we'll just see what they're doing. Right now they're still busy over there. Now also this mortgage plot here has been finished. There's still no one living in that, but we already get the bonus of 2%. So now my fields are boosted by another 4% for the pollination. But what I can see is the wilding effect stays the same. So no idea how we can further boost this one. Perhaps with some beekeepers. If there are any, they might just do the job. Oh, and that's a steep hike up there into the village. Keeps you healthy. And also, just by the way, my trees are also growing. That's lovely to see. I think it's a birch tree right here in the center of town. So far so good. Once again, another year comes to an end. So once again, the industry grows. My trading grows. I'm super happy about this one. And the dangers grow as well, as we might be next for a raider attack. We'll just see about that. I hope you enjoyed this one. Manor Lords, onwards to the next episode. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.